It's been a couple of months now since I did my 2-day learner's test, so I thought I might shed some light on a couple of skills that would be handy to practice beforehand. Getting your learner's permit on a motorbike is a strange thing. You go in potentially having never ridden a bike before, and you come out being legally able to ride a decently fast 650cc sports bike by yourself. I'm a bit older and a little bit less of a dickhead now, so I'm a massive advocate for practicing and being as safe as much as possible. In this video, I cover two aspects of the course that I think would be helpful to know beforehand. It's somewhat expected that you know your way around and have the ability to ride a bike before the course, even though it's illegal for you to do that unless on private property, which really makes no sense. At the very least, familiarise yourself with the various controls and try your absolute best to find a friend that's willing to take you somewhere quiet to get the feel for the bike and practice these skills. Now, onto the first skill.
Alrighty, so I'm going to start just past this grate. And if you can see, there's another grate in front of us. Probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish sort of car spots, 6 or 7. That's probably a little longer than the test, but still it's good practice, so it doesn't matter. So that's our aim. By the time we get to that one, we want to have taken at least 10 seconds. The longer the better. So we're going to start off by doing our head checks. So we're going to go right, left, look into the mirrors, and then I'm going to ride the clutch, a little bit of accelerator, and keep my right foot on the back brake. So I'll take about a car spot to get up to speed because you're allowed that, and then you're on the go. You can ride the clutch as much as you want, you can brake as much as you want, it doesn't matter. You can wibble around a little bit, but you will be having to stay between those tram lines. You do have to come to a complete stop afterwards, so that was more than slow enough. You get up to the line, you stop comfortably. So that was fine. I think on my test it took me about 14 seconds, and that's with a bit of stress and nervousness and all that sort of stuff. So go slower if you want. The longer you take, that's fine, as long as it's more than 10. That's sweet. They'll probably ask you to move off. Once again, whenever you move off from a standing position, head checks, mirrors, and away you go.
So the takeaway from that test is that you'll basically need to stay within the tram lines or the two parallel lines that they'll have on the course, which are about a metre apart. You'll have to take at least 10 seconds to go 10-15 metres, that sort of distance. And as long as you take longer than 10 seconds, you'll be fine. So as long as you just ride that clutch, keep a little bit of pressure on the back brake with your foot, and just give it a little bit of accelerator when required, you'll be absolutely fine. It's a lot easier to do in person, but it does sound a bit daunting. Now we'll move on to the second clip.
Something else we're going to have a quick look at is an emergency brake. In the actual test, I think you have to be going a minimum of 20 kilometres. You can be going faster. How they work that out is that you'll be getting up to speed. You're not allowed to touch the controls. You can have your hands on the handles, the grips, but you're not allowed to be preempting anything by having your fingers on the clutch or the brake. That just means that it's more of a real world scenario where you're not going to be preempting anything, but all of a sudden an animal, a car pulls out in front of you and you have to slam on the brakes really quick. So you have to get up to speeds, 20 plus k's an hour. You'll be given a marker. In this case, we're going to say this bollard right here, and that is when you're allowed to start braking. That's when the obstacle or object is noticed to you and you can start braking, and you have to stop by a certain point. Now they can measure the distance between the two and the time, and that will tell them that you've been going fast enough. At least in my case, that's how they did it. So for example, I started braking at the correct point, I stopped in 1.5 meters, and they could work out that I was going 27 k's an hour. So that was all a pass. I stopped in the correct time, and I didn't start braking until the correct time, and I was going above the minimum speed. So we'll start the bike up, and we'll go for a little cruise. So we're going to start. I might just do a little dry run. They let you to get up to speed. You'll generally go around the oval track, get up to speed. We're just going to do it slow, but I'll be going hands off the thingos, obstacle, brake, stop before a point. We'll call it this grate. And the distance from that thing to where you can stop, the faster the better, is your emergency brake. We'll do it for real now. So like I said, from the distance you took to brake and making sure you weren't preempting it, they can work out your speed. So it's all about going fast enough, braking fast enough. I believe officially you're not allowed to stall but I've heard it from almost every place, or every person I know that have done the test. They don't mind if you stall, because it's better that you brake safely and come to a stop and stall the bike, rather than worrying about stalling it, not stalling it, but you don't brake properly and you die. So I think half the class did stall, and they stalled past because they came to a stop safely. Who cares if your bike's stalled, as long as you're not dead? So I'll just quickly get up to speed. You will be going around a track to get up to speed, but I'll get up to speed. I'll be off the brakes and clutch. I'll start braking at that yellow bollard, and I want to be stopped as quickly as possible. So let's go for it. So I'm going 28. It's fine. Oh, brake. Slammed on the brakes, came to a stop. Cool. And that's all it is. Super easy, but in the heat of the moment, when you're stressed, when you're nervous, you know, you've probably got the rest of the class watching you because you do it one by one. It's something to think about and practice if you can. Other than that, there will be smaller tests like just, you know, obstacle avoidance. There might be cones. So if you've got a car park like this, maybe you can use the lines just to sort of scoot around. If you've got cones, even better. Once again, it'll be slow speed. They're not expecting you to go around it like Rossi on a chicane or something. You just have to be able to, you know, just weave your way around. Sometimes they put the cones very close together, and you'll have to use the same slow movement technique. Probably won't be a part of your actual finish, your actual test, sorry, but they just do it just to give you a bit of practice at the skill. So yeah, anything you can do at slow speed will aid you in at least the Australian motorbike learners test. I think that's really it. I obviously haven't gone through everything. If you do the 2-day course, they give you lots of practice at this stuff before you actually do the course. There's nothing that you won't have practiced for at least sort of 10-15 minutes, probably a lot more, before you go and do the test on that second day. So if you can practice going slow speed, riding the clutch, riding the brake, it doesn't matter. As long as you stay upright, you stay within the lines, and you are safe and head check the shit out of it, you'll be absolutely fine. So I hope this has shed a little bit of light. Chuck some questions down in the comments below if there's anything else I can shed light on, because it hasn't been that long since I've done my course, so it should be pretty relevant. But for now, I'm going to change this GoPro battery out and get back on the road.
I really hope this video has helped in some small way. If you've got any more questions, feel free to put them down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as best I can, as soon as I can. If you're going for your test soon, good luck. I'm sure you'll do just fine. And it would be awesome if you could give me a like and a subscribe. It really helps the channel, and I love making content like this. Thanks so much for now, and we'll catch you on the next one.